Hey everyone, welcome into another episode of the Inside Voice podcast. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for choosing to spend another chunk of your life with me. It means so much to me. And I'm just so glad you're here. And to our subscribers, hello. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for making it a priority to, get a little bit of the Inside Voice podcast into you every single week. I really appreciate that. If you haven't become a subscriber yet, wherever you get your podcast, go ahead and subscribe, and also on YouTube as well. Love that. Thank you so much to everybody that is joining the fam, joining the community. I mean, it feels really, really good. So I was just thinking, I don't normally record at this time, so the lighting in here is just a little bit different, at least what I'm looking at. Also, this is the time of the day where it just starts getting unbearably hot in my office. Summertime is, if you know me, you know this. Summertime is not my favorite season. I don't do well in heat. I'm a firm believer that I'm a better person in pants. I don't do well in shorts. So I've got a fan going. Hopefully it's not causing a lot of feedback or any, static in the background, any kind of, maybe it's white noise. I don't know. Maybe it would be really appealing to you right now. Maybe it'll just make you sleepy. I don't know. Maybe my voice does too. Speaking of which, September is upon us. This is day 1 of September. I know it's Labor Day weekend. I hope that you have had some time off. You are not laboring in the least bit by any stretch of the imagination, and you're getting to enjoy time with family, time with friends, loved ones, just anything away from work. Just giving yourself a little bit of a break, a little bit of a vacation. Just speaking of it being September 1st, being the first day of the last third of the year, that hit me the other day. It's funny. I think I said this about August 1st, and that was wrong. I think I maybe said that on one of my radio shows. So that's fun. Happens, right? But thinking about, entering into September, we've got September, October, November, and December, and that's it. And then we are into 2026, and we all know how this time of year goes. It goes by so quickly, and there's a good reason why. There's a lot to look forward to. I am somebody who loves this time of year for so many reasons. I mean, obviously you've got the holidays that are going to be coming our way. With Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas and even New Year's Eve right after that. Thinking about even just having this 3-day weekend right now, it's great to start off September with a little extra time to yourself. It's an exciting time of year. And I think back to when I was a kid, back to school season, I loved, yes, I was a nerd like that, but there was just something about all the newness of it, new clothes, new classrooms, new teachers, new books, new supplies. It was this opportunity to daydream about being someone new. And, it was this clean slate, this untainted year that I got to play around with, and new sporting seasons and stuff. I played volleyball. I played basketball for a chunk of high school. I played softball my entire life, and just the newness of the seasons and everything was always so fun. And so, and then of course, we've got football and we've got the fall season, and there's just so much, I believe, to look forward to this time of year. And I want to encourage you to lean into that, lean into the newness, lean into the excitement. But I want to encourage you to not get so wrapped up in the anticipation of what's to come, to get so wrapped up in those events themselves that you forget about what's happening right here and right now. Because I can get really excited, fall is here in a couple of weeks. The cooler temperatures are going to be here in a couple of weeks. I can't wait. And it's okay, but what do we do with today? We can't just forget about today and rush into what's next. This is a time of year that I know is busy. I know it's hectic. I know that it is, I'll just say it. It is a comparison-filled time of year. Everybody's looking at everybody else's feed, looking at their fall activities. Everybody's oh, I should go out and apple pick. And, oh, I should make my own homemade apple cider because, everybody on social media is doing it. It's we can compare ourselves real quick. And even thinking about Halloween and, decorations and costumes and Thanksgiving, everybody's perfect little family together and stuff like that. there's a lot of comparison involved. And I think we can also get wrapped up in that. I want to encourage you to just lean into right here, right now, the way that your life is and enjoy it, and going back to thinking ahead to the things that are super exciting ahead of us. Gosh, I have this conversation with my husband all the time. I started gaining a lot of perspective when my mom passed in 2021 of like, any day can be like that day that I got that phone call, and I don't want to keep anticipating and looking forward to things that are happening in the future so much that I miss out on the things that are happening right here, right now. And I say that in the context of my mom because that was a day that, like, obviously, I'm gonna get emotional, but like my life changed, and it was hard and it was scary, and it made me realize, like, if I don't appreciate and if I don't take advantage of what's in front of me right now, it can be taken away in an instant. And, even having a conversation with my husband about this, something that we both talk about a lot, we get so excited about what's coming that we miss out on like what's happening here and now. And I think it's because we just think what's next or what's ahead of us is so much better. It's bigger, it's better, it's awesome. And granted, it's gonna be awesome because we've planned for it to be awesome. You know what I mean? Like, we've set a lot of goals for ourselves as a family, and even, both him and I individually, we've set goals for ourselves that are exciting. I wrote down my 10-year plan the other day, just dreaming big and bold, and maybe one day I'll share those things with you, but like, I went for it of like getting excited about things. And one day that's going to be amazing. And I think about like my husband and I planning, things that we want to do in 2026. There's a vacation that we want to do next year, and there's other things that we've mapped out for next year. And even at the end of this year, that, yeah, we're super excited about those things and they're going to be awesome. But at the end of the day, we may never get there, it may not happen. Circumstances change, things happen, things pop up, plans change, all that stuff, And if we're so focused on how good it's going to be then, we miss out on how good it can be right here and right now. And I think that is something that's a really grandiose way to say, let's not get so wrapped up in these next couple of months that we miss out on this day or the next couple of days. You know what I mean? It's such a concept of like living in the now that it's preached over and over and over again. And I know you've heard this 1,000 times, but I think it's also a great reminder, especially walking into the next couple of months, especially walking into holidays and events. Because at the end of the day, what if they don't happen? What if everything goes out the window? What if things change? What if you never actually get there? It almost sounds, well, it doesn't almost, it does sound morbid. It sounds doom and gloom, but I hope it's more of an encouragement for you of like, hey, as cheesy as it sounds, I can make every day feel like Christmas. I can make Sunday dinner feel like Thanksgiving. I can make an afternoon with my kids at the park feel like Halloween. You know what I mean? Like, we can make each and every moment and each and every day feel big and special. And it's not to put pressure on you to do that. It's not to make you be like, oh my gosh, well, everything has to be special because Jess told me that. So now I'm really stressed out if we just watch a movie on a Friday night. That can be a fun family thing that is special, I think back to when I was a kid, we had a game night that we did as a family, and I distinctly remember playing like Jumanji and Star Wars Monopoly and all these other games, and we would have like different treats and different desserts and stuff that we would eat during this family game night. And it was something that had to be planned. It was something that had to be put on the schedule. I'm realizing now that I'm older, but when I was a kid, it was just what we did. I still remember those special moments with my family. I still remember like distinct moments of playing those games with my family. And again, that wasn't a special holiday. That wasn't a big vacation. That was just a simple thing that we were doing as a family, sitting around the dining room table on whatever night it was. I don't remember what night it was, but I remember doing it, and it was special. And so we can get caught up and wrapped up in a lot of what's down the road that we miss out on the scenery around us. If you want to use a road trip analogy, which I seem to do a lot, we have a final destination. It might be Disneyland. It's very exciting. We can't wait to get there. But man, look at these mountains around us that we're driving through. Man, look at this. Look at the beach over there. Like, there's a lot to see on the way to Disneyland. Let's just put it that way. Speaking of holidays and events, I think this is why some people can go through the holiday season and be disappointed and lose the wonder of the holidays, and lose the wonder of this time of year. It's like we do ourselves a disservice building these things up, that when we finally get to them, if they're anything different than what we've imagined in our minds, somehow it's a failure and the whole thing is awful and terrible. Scrap it. We'll just try again next year. And it leaves you really, really disappointed, Life is messy. It's tricky and it's sticky and it's not always exactly what you want it to be. And I think kind of learning to just take things as they come and try new things and be flexible is really, really important as we're navigating life with one another, So as we move forward, and even, if you're going back to school this semester, there's a lot of great things to look forward to. Don't miss out on the daily things as well. Gosh, I think about going to college, and yeah, there's a lot of fun things to look forward to in college that were big, like I went to Baylor and there were certain events in the fall like Dia del Oso and homecoming and, even just going to football games on Saturdays with my friends, always something to look forward to. But there were also small moments that I remember just walking across campus in between classes, or going to the Sub on Tuesdays to get a Dr. Pepper float for Dr. Pepper hour. Like, those little things are so special and they're such a part of your life. And oftentimes, those are the things that make up your life more than the big things. Going back to holidays and events, like this time of year is a special time of year, but it doesn't happen every day. It doesn't happen all year long. You've already done 8 months of this year. And as we enter into the fall season and the season of holidays, with all these great things to look forward to, like, this is just such a small portion of what the rest of the year is, what the rest of your life is. Even those holidays are such a small portion as well. So I want to encourage you to keep looking at life as a gift and something that is special. And every day is a gift and every day is something that is special. It doesn't just have to be because of some big fancy holiday or party or something like that. I think even just like counting down to the fall season a bit in the past has left me disappointed with fall. I'm trying not to like get super excited about it, even though I am. And, the pumpkin spice latte is back. And even though it is hotter outside than the actual latte itself, I still love that the fall season is, starting to creep in a little bit. But I'm trying to take things one day at a time and not get super excited about it. I guess that's not a good way to put it. It's not that I'm not excited about it. I'm not putting all my time and energy into expectations. I'm putting my time and energy into right here and right now. And I just want to encourage you to do the same. Aside from big things to look forward to, I think we also do this with our everyday circumstances. And I'm going to knock on social media. Surprise, surprise. Social media is wonderful. I learn a lot on social media. I laugh a lot on social media. I share a lot on social media with other people. Like, it's a great thing, but it's also opened up this whole window that I don't even know how much we were supposed to see out of in the first place, because we see everybody doing everything and living this great, perfect, wonderful life, and it's filtered and it's curated and it's cut and it's crafted and it's all put together in a certain way to make you feel like it's wonderful and amazing and oh my gosh, what if? And it's great to be inspired by things on social media, but we compare so much on social media. And we feel like what we have on social media right now, like let's say you are trying to build a business and you're trying to, leverage social media to to do marketing, to get more people to buy, to get more people to invest, whatever it may be. Maybe you are looking to be an influencer, or you want to create a brand or something on social media, and you're looking for social media to help you do that. For whatever reason, you think that where you're at right now is wrong or less than because you're not further down the road. I do this with myself, and I try not to think like, oh, one day, man, if I just have 100,000 followers, like, then I'll be living, I actually have a radio colleague who I just recently found again on social media. I hadn't seen her in a while. And it's because she had a baby. But she has been somebody that I've kept an eye on social media, because she just shows up consistently and she just does her thing and she shows up as she is, and it's that simple. And I hadn't checked in on her in a while, and I looked at her feed and I was like, wow, she's built something on social media. She's built a community, she's built an audience, she's built this platform for herself. And it was really cool to see not only that she's grown in followers, but she's grown in views as well, because I know that was something that she wanted, And then I started thinking like, wow, it'd be really cool to also be there. And I had to stop myself before I started thinking less of the way that I'm showing up now, and compare myself to where she's at. I think, I don't remember where I first heard this. It might have been Rachel Hollis. Stop comparing your middle or your beginning to somebody else's finish line, or stop comparing your beginning to somebody's middle. You know what I mean? Like, the difference between me and this other girl on social media is that she has shown up consistently and she's been authentic, and people have related to that, and people have invested in that with their likes and their follows and all that jazz. I have not done that, and that's fine. I'm living where I'm living right now, and it's all good in the hood. So I just want to encourage you that social media can be exciting and motivating and inspirational, but it can also rob you of the joy and the happiness that you can have right now. I think about with this podcast, and I'm trying all these new things and I'm putting things out there, and it's been a lot of fun for me. This will change, but I haven't really promoted it as much. I actually was looking back at some highlights from season 1, and just thinking about when this podcast first started, that's all I was doing was being like, listen. And there's nothing wrong with that. I had a vision for what I wanted. And I gotta say, this time around doing this, I've enjoyed kind of just having my own thing, and delighting in the infancy of it, I guess is the best way that I can put it. I know that I'm not just, it sounds even stupid to say that because I don't want to say it's small, but there is a vision for what I want this to be one day. I don't want that vision to rob me of the joy that I'm feeling right here, right now, with the way that it is right now. Does that make sense? So be very careful in the way that you look at other people, look at other people's lives, look at things online, look at things on social media, because it can totally rob you of every beautiful thing that's happening right here and right now. It can be an overwhelming feeling thinking, well, if I'm not there where I ultimately want to be, then there's something wrong with where I'm at right now. No, you're just in the beginning stages. It's okay. You'll get to there, okay? You've set the goal for yourself. And even then, I think sometimes setting goals can be problematic, It's great to set goals. Don't get me wrong. I love goals. Like I said, I wrote my 10-year plan of things that I want personally and professionally, how I want my life to look. It's great to dream those things, to write those things down, to make a commitment to yourself, make a promise to yourself of this is where we're headed. It's great to have the destination. Like we talked about earlier, Disneyland is the destination, but don't miss out on the moment that you get dressed in the morning to go to Disneyland, or the moment of getting in the car and starting the engine, or the moment of pulling out of your driveway, knowing where you're going, but also gosh, this is exciting. I'm leaning into the excitement of this right now. Or, even making the drive to Disneyland an adventure, stop at a convenience store and get some snacks, crank up your favorite playlist. Like there's beauty in the journey of where you're headed. Sounds so cliche, but it's so true, like we need to find joy in the daily practice of showing up and the daily practice of pursuing these dreams and these goals that we've set for ourselves. Where I live, I'm not particularly close to some of my friends in the area. And I remember one of my friends who kind of lives like on the other side of town was saying like, well, I want to invite you to do more things, but I feel bad making you drive so far. And I remember thinking like, that should never be an issue. Like, if you want me there, invite me. And if I don't want to make the drive, then I won't make the drive. But I've learned to really embrace time in the car and to embrace the time getting to where I'm going. You know what I mean? Like, and I joked with her. I was like, I just put on a podcast and I'm there in no time, But that's the truth of it, It's an opportunity for me to enjoy part of my life, and not just be so bummed that I have to drive so far and I wish I was just already there. Does that make sense? I feel like your goals are the same way. Like eventually you're going to get to that destination. Eventually you're going to get to the things that you're pursuing. You're going to meet those goals. You're going to exceed those goals and set even greater goals for yourself. I know that. I believe that for you. But don't miss out on what's happening right now. Sometimes I think about entrepreneurs, and I used to listen to the podcast How I Built This like regularly, and a lot of these big business owners, a lot of these entrepreneurs, they talked a lot about the early days. That's the whole point of the podcast, is like, walk me through how you went from idea to conception to action to fruition. And there's like there's a warmth and a joy and a happiness when they reminisce on those early days. Now, granted, they were chaotic. Granted, they had a lot of pivoting, a lot of setbacks, all sorts of stuff. That's the nature of pursuing something, is there's going to be hard times, there's going to be setbacks, regardless of where you're at in the journey. But there's just something about the way that they talk about those early days that it's like they romanticize them, and it's like, oh man, remember when it was like simple? Remember when we didn't have to worry about all this? Remember when we didn't have so much at stake? Like there's such a beauty in the beginning. There's such a beauty of the middle. You know what I mean? Don't miss out on that. Your life is like that as well. If you spend it constantly thinking like, well, one day when I'm here, everything will be perfect. I think about, goals that my husband and I have set for ourselves with finances or with jobs, careers, all that stuff. Because he's a very motivated, but he's also like a very logical person. Like he's got like the steps that he's going to go through. He's a checklist kind of guy, which I love. It's inspiring. And we can set those wonderful, beautiful goals for ourselves, but we're living now, you know what I mean? And there's such a beauty in where we're at now. And even looking back, gosh, we've been married, I can do math, about 12 years. I think about like the early stages of our marriage, and like we've built a lot over the years, but like even going back to like those sweet moments, like when we first got married and we were like trying to figure things out and we were in our first house and like, starting our big kid jobs and all that stuff. Like there's a way to like romanticize that stuff, and I don't want to lose aspects of that as we move forward. And we can dream big and we can pursue wonderful things in the future, but there's still something so wonderful about the simplicity of things right now and the simplicity of life. And so I want to encourage you, you've got things that you are living in right now. Don't be so negative. Don't miss out on what's happening around you because you're too eager for the next thing to arrive. I'm not a parent, but I hear a lot of parents talk about this, like, oh, if I can just get this baby out of diapers, or oh, if I could just stop breastfeeding, or if I could just, get them eating solid food, or oh gosh, if they could just, go to the bathroom by themselves, or dress themselves, or, walk themselves to the bus stop. Like, those are all fine, wonderful things. And you should be excited for your kid to learn those things because that's a part of growing up. But there's aspects of what you're living in right here and right now that you're going to miss one day. There's aspects of your life that you don't want to rush through right now because when it's gone, it's gone. You can't get it back, you know? And I think goals and dreams and stuff are so wonderful, but I even hear like entrepreneurs and business people talk about this. They set these lofty goals for themselves, and then when they get there, now what? You know, it's like there was so much intention set and so much action taken to make the goal happen that when it does, it's like, well, I don't know what to do with my life next, you know? It's like Forrest Gump with this running thing, you know? Like he ran and ran and ran and ran, and then we got to the end, he's like, well, I just stopped running, you know? Yeah, there's just, life is so beautiful, and what we're living in right now is the majority of what our life is, you know? Getting up, taking care of kids, going to work, making dinner, doing the grocery shopping, folding laundry. Like a lot of your life, and my life included, is the mundane, is the everyday. But that's what's beautiful about it, right? And we can make special moments happen. We don't have to wait for a holiday. When I was a kid, I was so weird. Maybe you did this too, and I'm not that weird, but if I got something really nice, I never used it. I remember I would get things like for Christmas, I remember, what was that? It's like a little Smucker's like chapstick set. And it was so nice. And it was so pretty. And it had all these different like scented flavored chapsticks. And it was in beautiful packaging and everything. And I remember that sat in my room forever. I don't even know how long it took before I finally was like, oh, maybe I should use these. And it wasn't that I didn't like the gift. It was just so nice, you know? And oh man, what was I saving it for, you know? And I think about bath products that I've gotten that have been really, really nice. And it's like, it doesn't have to be, oh, well, it's my birthday. Now I'm going to use this stuff because it's super fancy. It could be a Tuesday. Go use it, you know? Get the fine china out. Get the nice dishware out. Get the champagne out because it's Wednesday and you just want to celebrate a moment with yourself or your family or your husband or whatever, you know? Like, that's another reason why I think it's not smart for us to just keep waiting for big things to happen because they may never happen. We can't wait for something special to cause us to take action. You know what I mean? We can be taking action every single day to make life beautiful and wonderful. And as we're pursuing things that we want in life and as we're chasing after big, beautiful dreams, you know, the struggle, the process, the discipline, the journey, that's what makes all of it worth it. Don't miss out on what's in front of you because you're already thinking 10 steps ahead. Don't miss out on what's here and now because you're too busy thinking about how great it's going to be when you arrive over there. You know what I mean? Stay right here. And as we are moving into this time of year that is going to give you lots to look forward to, don't miss out on the regular stuff. Don't miss out on the school drop off and pickup. Don't miss out on well, it's just a quiet night at home. Don't miss out on the drive to a friend's house, you know, in that 15, 20, 30 minutes that you're in the car. Like, don't miss out on those little things. And I know I talk about this a lot with social media and binge watching. Like, don't waste your life watching other people live theirs, you know? It's like we're waiting for something big to happen so we can post about it on social media. Post about whatever you want on social media. Live your life, you know? I have a friend that's her thing. Live your life, live your life. It is the magic of, you know, living every day that makes life so wonderful because it's the day-to-day stuff that makes life what it is. Don't be in such a rush to get to the next big thing, the next key moment in life. Enjoy what's happening right here, right now. Live in what's here and now. That's going to be wonderful in the future. There's also going to be other things in the future that are not going to be so wonderful. So take advantage and lean into what's happening right here and right now. You know, it's like we don't get to get to those wonderful things and then come back and relive our life again. It's like, no, like this is all we've got right now. This is all we're promised right now. Be here. Okay. So as we move forward, I want to encourage you to, lean into each and every day that's ahead of us. Lean into the fact that this is the last third of the year. It's weird to say that. Can't believe we've already done so much of this year. Lean into the things that you've learned this year, the things that you've experienced this year, and apply them to this next chapter. Apply them to this next portion of the year. And don't get ahead of yourself. Enjoy right here, right now. If you need to journal, if you need to, write down some things that you're thankful for. I know that gratitude can be such a powerful centering. Like it can be such a thing that helps you like focus on the here and the now. Do that, if you just need to like put your phone down and just take a couple of breaths and notice what's around you. I love to do this. I do this on my back porch a lot. I'll just go sit out there and I'll take in as much as I can, like the sights, the smells, the sounds, the feelings. And then I start sweating because, it's summertime and I go in and it's great. But just like taking a moment being like, I'm here, I'm living, this is my life. It's beautiful, it's wonderful. And I'm so thankful for this moment right here. If I were to give you homework, I think that would be your homework. Just take little 2-minute moments throughout the day. It doesn't have to be long. Set a reminder in your phone to do this. Set an alarm in your phone like every hour or every 2 hours. Just stop, breathe, and be thankful for right here and right now. Yeah, that's your homework this week. I like that. I'll see you next week.